The first time the most powerful alien queen in the galaxy looked at me, she called me a vagrant. Not a diplomat. Not a soldier. Not even a threat. Just a vagrant. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. The man with nothing. My name is Adrian Voss. 3 months before I met Queen Saralith, I lost everything. My ship was gone. My crew was gone. My reputation, destroyed. Officially, I was listed as a freelance explorer. Unofficially, I was a drifter. A nobody moving from station to station, taking whatever work I could find just to keep flying. The kind of person most people don't even notice. Which was exactly how I ended up in the worst possible place in the galaxy. The capital of the Zytherian Empire. A world so advanced it made human cities look primitive. A world ruled by a queen whose decisions shaped entire star systems. And somehow, I walked straight into her palace. The accident that changed everything. It wasn't supposed to happen. I had taken a small job transporting salvage data from a mining outpost to a trade hub. Easy credits. No risk. But halfway through the jump route, my navigation system glitched. The coordinates shifted. The ship dropped out of hyperspace early. And suddenly, I was staring at a planet I had only ever seen in classified files. Zithra Prime. The heart of the Empire. The last place someone like me should ever be. Before I could even think about escaping, my ship was surrounded. Dozens of sleek alien vessels locked onto me instantly. A voice filled my cockpit. Unidentified vessel. You have entered restricted space. I swallowed. Yeah, about that. Power down your engines. I sighed. Already done. Prepare to be boarded. I leaned back in my seat. Well, this is going to end badly. The throne room. The Zytherian palace wasn't just a building. It was a statement. Massive spires of silver and obsidian rose into the sky like blades. The interior glowed with soft light, walls shifting subtly as if alive. Everything about the place felt controlled. Perfect. And I didn't belong there. The guards escorted me through enormous halls filled with alien nobles who barely glanced at me. To them I wasn't important. Just another outsider. Another mistake. Then we entered the throne room. And everything changed. At the far end of the chamber, seated on a raised platform, was Queen Saralith. She didn't need an introduction. The entire room revolved around her presence. Her posture was effortless. Her expression calm. Her eyes sharp, intelligent, and impossibly focused. She looked at me once. Just once. And in that single glance, she understood exactly what I was. Her voice echoed through the chamber. You brought me this? One of the guards stepped forward. An unauthorized human vessel, Your Majesty. The Queen leaned slightly forward. Her gaze locked onto me. And then she said it. A vagrant. The word hit harder than any weapon. Because it wasn't an insult. It was accurate. The moment that changed everything. I could have stayed quiet. I could have apologized. I could have begged. But something about the way she said it, so certain, so final, it made something in me push back. So I smiled. Depends on your definition. The entire room froze. The guard beside me stiffened. You will show respect. The Queen raised her hand. Silence returned instantly. Her eyes narrowed slightly. You disagree? Not exactly, I said. Then explain. I shrugged. I've got no ship, no crew, and no home base. That fits your description pretty well. A few nobles exchanged glances. The Queen studied me more closely now. Then why object? Because being a vagrant doesn't mean being worthless. The room went silent again. And this time, the Queen didn't look dismissive. She looked curious. The human problem. Queen Saralith had met many species. Warriors, diplomats, conquerors. But humans were different, unpredictable, resilient, annoyingly honest at the worst possible moments. And this one didn't behave like someone who had just been dragged before a ruler who could erase him with a word. You stand before me with nothing, she said. Correct. No power. Also correct. No status. Definitely. And yet you speak without fear. I thought about that. Not without fear, I said. just not controlled by it. The Queen leaned back slightly. Interesting. That single word sent a ripple through the court. Because Queen Seralith didn't call things interesting lightly. The test. Human, she said. Yes. If you are not worthless, prove it. I raised an eyebrow. How? She gestured to the massive window behind her throne. Beyond it, the capital stretched endlessly. Ships moved in perfect formation. Energy fields shimmered across the skyline. This empire, she said, was built on strength. Seems like it. Every being here has earned their place. Okay. You have not. Also fair. The Queen leaned forward slightly. So tell me, what value does a vagrant bring to an empire? The entire court watched. Waiting. Expecting me to fail. I took a breath. Then I answered honestly. Perspective. The Queen blinked. Explain. Everyone here belongs, I said. They follow rules. They understand the system. And I don't. The room remained silent. That means I see things differently, I continued. Problems others ignore. Risks others don't notice. The Queen studied me carefully. And you believe that makes you valuable? Sometimes the outsider sees the truth faster than the insider. Another pause. Then something unexpected happened. The Queen smiled. The beginning of change. That was the moment everything shifted. Instead of dismissing me, she kept asking questions. Instead of ordering my execution, she listened. Hours passed. The court watched in disbelief as the most powerful ruler in the sector engaged in conversation with a human drifter. We talked about systems, trade routes, weaknesses in fleet formations, cultural blind spots. At one point, I casually pointed out a flaw in their planetary defense grid. A small one, but real. The room went silent. The Queen turned to her advisors. Is this true? They checked. It was. That was when the whisper started. Because the Vagrant had just spotted something their best strategists missed. What she saw. Later, when the court was dismissed, the Queen called me forward again. The chamber was quieter now. Just a few guards remained. You were honest, she said. Seemed easier. You could have lied. You would have known. She considered that. Yes. Then she asked something unexpected. Why did you not defend yourself when I called you a vagrant? I shrugged. Because I was one. And now. Still am. She stepped closer. No. I blinked. No. No. Her voice was calm. You are something else. I raised an eyebrow. Should I be worried? Perhaps. The turning point. Days passed. Instead of being imprisoned or executed, I was kept in the palace, given access to systems, allowed to observe, and occasionally, asked for input. The court didn't like it. A human outsider advising their queen? Unacceptable. But Queen Seralith didn't care. She watched me closely, studied my decisions, my reactions, my instincts, until one day she said something that changed everything. You are not a vagrant. I looked up. Then what am I? She paused, then answered. An anomaly. The ending. The moment that shocked the galaxy didn't happen in private. It happened in front of everyone. A full imperial court. Hundreds of nobles, generals, advisors, all gathered in the throne room. And at the center of it all was me, standing beside Queen Seralith, a position no outsider had ever held. The room buzzed with tension, because rumors had spread. The Queen had taken interest in a human, and not just any human, a vagrant. Queen Seralith stood. The entire court fell silent. She looked across the chamber. Then she spoke. This human was brought before me with nothing. Her voice carried through the vast hall. No status. No power. No place. I swallowed. This was either going to go very well, or very badly. She turned slightly toward me. I called him a vagrant. Pause. Then she continued. I was wrong. The room erupted in whispers. The Queen raised her hand. Silence returned instantly. This human sees what others ignore. He questions what others accept. He speaks truth without fear. Her gaze locked onto mine. And that has value. I didn't move, didn't speak, didn't breathe. Then she said the words that changed everything. From this day forward. The entire court leaned in. He stands not as an outsider. Pause. But as one under my protection. Shock rippled through the chamber. Because that wasn't just mercy. That was recognition. The queen stepped closer. And more than that. I blinked. Wait. But she continued. He will remain. The room went silent. Because everyone understood what that meant. A human. A former vagrant. Now part of the queen's inner circle. The impossible had just happened. I looked at her. Why? The queen met my gaze calmly. Because you are not defined by what you have lost. She stepped closer. Close enough that only I could hear her next words. You are defined by what you still are. I exhaled slowly. And what's that? She smiled faintly. Someone worth keeping. The throne room watched in stunned silence. Because the alien queen who ruled the stars had just taken a human with nothing and given him a place among the most powerful beings in the galaxy. And that moment didn't just change my life, changed everything. End of story.